Going on, guys? It's Steve. So this video is going to be a little touchy. It's going to be a lot of emotion from a lot of people in the comment section. But that's what we do on this channel. We don't hold back. Stephen Curry versus Russell Westbrook. Now I already know there's going to be Curry fanboys, there's going to be Russell Westbrook fanboys, but at the end of the day, it's clearly obvious who's the better player without a question. It's obvious. So, first of all, let me go into who did what when they were the best player on their team. So, obviously, Kevin Durant is the second best player in the world, so we're not going to talk about 2016-17. We're going to talk about 2015-16 for Stephen Curry, and we're going to talk about 2016-17 for Russell Westbrook. Even if you want to talk about 2016-17, the stats are pretty much the same. So, let's first focus on Russell Westbrook. So, Russell Westbrook, without Kevin Durant, averaged a triple-double. It was ridiculous. One of the greatest regular season performances in NBA history. Incredible. The second player to ever do that in NBA history, obviously following another Hall of Famer. Russell Westbrook will be a Hall of Famer. Following another Hall of Famer, Oscar Robertson, who is one of the top 50 players to ever play this game. Russell Westbrook averaged 32 points per game, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals. Now remember, I'm rounding up a little. It's really 31.6, 10.7, 10.4, and 1.6, but I'm not going to go into the point whatever. So 32 points per game, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals. Now, here's where Russell Westbrook really irks me and slacks off a little bit. And it's not, I don't want to hear the excuse, oh, well, he doesn't have help, and who is he going to pass? I don't want to hear that excuse. He's very inefficient. He turns the ball over a lot. You don't believe me? Listen to this. He averaged 5 turnovers per game. 5 turnovers per game. 43% shooting from the field. And remember, I'm rounding up, and I rounded down for 5. He really averaged 5.4, but it's 5 turnovers, and he really shot 42.5, but I'm going to say 43. From 3, he was pretty solid, 34%, and from the free throw line, again, pretty solid at 85%. Now, 5 turnovers, not good. Not good whatsoever. So, let's go ahead and look at Stephen Curry from the 2015-16. Actually, we'll look at 2015-16 and 2016-17. So, the first unanimous MVP in NBA history, remember this is 2015-16, he averaged 30 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals. Incredibly efficient at 50% from the field, 45% from 3, and 91% from the free throw line. Absolutely ridiculous. We've never seen anything like that ever. Here's where Stephen Curry differentiates himself from Russell Westbrook. Stephen Curry, as the best player on his team, unanimous MVP. Russell Westbrook also wins MVP with a triple-double. High turnovers, very low efficiency in terms of field goal percentage. But Stephen Curry, high efficiency, low turnovers. And here's the thing that really gets me. So Russell Westbrook with the Oklahoma City Thunder, without Kevin Durant in 2016-17, were 6th in the Western Conference at 47-35. A huge drop off from the year prior with Kevin Durant. Now, Stephen Curry as the best player on his team, they went 73-9. I mean, come on. The proof is right there in the pudding. Higher efficiency, better shooter, more efficient, averages pretty much the same points per game. He doesn't have the same rebounds and assists, but he is winning more, so that's absolutely incredible. So let's go ahead and look at some of my nerds out there, Stephen Curry's advanced stats in 2015-16. His player efficiency rating (PER) was 31.5. His true shooting percentage, which is ridiculous, was 67%. 60-7%, man. That's absolutely I mean, come on. His win shares, he had 14 win shares. 14. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Stephen Curry is a great player, okay? Now, Russell Westbrook, this will blow your mind. He's exceptionally well as well. A 31 PER, great. 13 win shares, great. Stephen Curry had 1 more win share. But here's the thing. Stephen Curry went 73-9. Russell Westbrook went 47-35. I mean, so if you're building around a team, and let's say Russell Westbrook gets hot. Well, we'll get to that in a second. Let's say Russell Westbrook gets hot. Let's say he hits 3-4 shots in a row. They're most likely going to be mid-range shots or layups, right? So let's say 4 shots in a row, you have 8 points. But you have Stephen Curry hit 4 shots in a row. They're most likely all going to be threes. That's 12 points. That's a big difference. That's a 2-possession difference. Or you can say 1 if you get an and 1 from the 3-point line. But a 4-point play, which rarely happens. So you have Stephen Curry and Russell Westbrook both stuff in the stat sheet. But if you really look at it, who would you take to build your team around? Because Stephen Curry, he's efficient. He hasn't been injured in a while. If you consider 2015-16, but he wasn't really that badly injured because he was screaming, I'm back, and people want to give him the excuse, oh, well, he was injured when he lost the 3-1 lead. No, he was back according to him, so he wasn't injured enough with the nonsense, right? So, Stephen Curry, efficient, great shooter, great passer, not so great on the defensive end, but he's all right. Really, really good plus-minus on the box score. Then you have Russell Westbrook, who stuffs the stat sheet, can do everything on the floor, whose killer mentality is amazing. But the difference is he turns the ball over a lot, and he doesn't really shoot the ball well from the field. So, and he takes a high volume of shots to get what Stephen Curry does. And Stephen Curry takes a lower volume of shots, and he gets the same amount of points as Russell Westbrook. In fact, even more than Russell Westbrook on less shooting from the field. So, it's clearly obvious who someone would take. I really don't even have to say it. You guys get the gist of this video. The point of this video is that Stephen Curry is still better than Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is great, don't get me wrong, and this year is going to be absolutely ridiculous with Russell Westbrook, Steven Adams, Paul George, etc., etc. But Stephen Curry is still better because you want to compare Stephen Curry behind Kevin Durant. And let's also compare Russell Westbrook behind Kevin Durant for a second, because this really opened up my mind. It was like, okay, this shows you. Okay, so Russell Westbrook behind KD, 24 points per game. And remember, I'm rounding up. 24 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists. Great, right? But he still has 4 turnovers per game, and he's shooting 45% from the field, 29% from 3, 81% from the free throw line. Okay, and then you have Stephen Curry. Okay, Stephen Curry behind KD, 25 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and 3 turnovers. But get this, 47% from the field, 41% from 3, and 90% from the free throw line. So you have the greatest shooter of all time going against the most versatile point guard in NBA history. So you have the greatest shooter in NBA history or the most versatile point guard in NBA history. Both have their pros and their cons, but Stephen Curry has more pros because we've seen Stephen Curry, and we can't even sit here and say when it was just Steph before KD got there. We can't say, oh, well, the Warriors were completely stacked. Come on, let's be real. They had a good bench, Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala, okay, but for Andrew Bogut, for someone to say they were stacked with stars, no, they weren't. And this is before KD, so we're talking about 2014-15, 2015-16, right? They weren't really stacked. They had one superstar player and 2 borderline all-star players who developed into all-star players only because, well, Draymond Green is good, but mostly because their team success, and that's mostly because of Stephen Curry. Okay? In 2015-16, he didn't win unanimous MVP for no reason. He won that for a reason because he was an absolute monster. Okay? Too much hate on Stephen Curry. There's too much hate on Russell Westbrook. People say, oh, well, Russell Westbrook, he's a ball hog, he's a ball stopper, he doesn't pass. He only passed and he's going for the triple-double. Well, how many players can say, oh, I was going for the triple-double, but they didn't get it? So it's not a mistake that Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double. Now, averaging a triple-double doesn't mean you got a triple-double 82 out of 82 games, because use this example. You play 5 games, you score 80 points in one game, and you score let's say 15, 10, 12, and 13 and 14, all off the top of my head. And let's say that just averages out to 30. Doesn't mean you score 30 every night. It just means your average was 30. That doesn't mean Russell Westbrook had a triple-double every night, but the majority of games, he had a triple-double, which is ridiculous because Russell Westbrook is a freaking animal. But he needs to be smarter. He needs to, and if you think he's not clutch, you got to rewatch the 2016-17 season because Russell Westbrook is clutch as hell. So we already know how this is going to conclude. Stephen Curry is better than Russell Westbrook. I already said that. You guys already know I know that. I just wanted to explain why. Look, this is my order of the top 5 players in the world, and this is going to be extremely tough. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, Kawhi Leonard, Carmelo. No, let me stop. in the beginning of the 2016-17 season, I would have said that, but LeBron, KD, Steph, Kawhi, and I don't know if I would pick James or Russ, but it's one of those two. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm out of here. Peace.